Welcome, welcome, welcome. Early morning stock market charting video this morning because we've got some things breaking out. I want to point out gold. Gold's breaking out, and I want to get into a couple other little sectors, trade ideas. So I'm going to get this video out relatively early this morning. Thank you for following along. Leave me a thumbs up if you find value in the content. And if you're interested in using technical analysis to find trade ideas like these gold miners, then take my course. The link is in the description below. $99 course, but it does easily, I think it's worth that value. It's about 4 to 5 hours worth of technical analysis training, and it really should help give you the skill set to find some of these trade ideas. Okay, so gold's breaking out this morning. Let's start out here with the daily. You can see the resistance level we've really been trading with right now is about 1750, and we're breaking out. Looks like gold wants to run this morning, so there's the breakout. Pretty impulsive on the hourly. You know, lots of buyers are stepping in. Let's flip over to these gold miners, and we'll take a look at what we got going on here, because I'm seeing just more confirmation here that gold and the gold miners are starting their next leg higher. So here's Barrick Gold, clear breakout this morning. You can see we held resistance right there for a while on the hourly chart around 2130, and today we're just breaking higher. This was pointed out, this trade idea was pointed out back here, you know, was a divergent low, and we had a bullish falling wedge. See the wedge that I have marked out? We traded to the lower end of the bullish falling wedge, but it was instantly recovered, and that low right in here was a bullish divergence. See the PPO and the RSI, how I have it marked out, showing the bullish divergence? So that indicated that momentum was actually starting to move to the upside, even though price was continuing to the downside. So that was your indication down there that look for a trend reversal. We then got a recovery of the bullish falling wedge and a breakout. There's your breakout and a back test. So breakout, back test, and off to the races. So even if you took it on the breakout here, you know, the thing's up 6%, and if you add it on the back test, which is what I like to do, then it's up much higher, and it's continuing to run today with a nice breakout candle. It looks like that's going to continue. Now we do have some resistance that we're going to come into right up here at about 22. That's some former resistance that we had. You can see right back here that held as resistance back here, or sorry, support back here, and we're heading right into that level. So I think it's likely you're going to get a reaction up in that 22 area. So keep an eye on that. However, if we just slice right above it and break above, then you know that is a pretty bullish move. So keep an eye on that one. Let's take a look at this HMY. You can see yesterday. So there's your downtrend line on HMY. We broke out just the other day, came back in for a back test, and I pointed that out in the video yesterday that this was an objective area to add or to buy HMY, and today they're bouncing off of that, you know, up almost 4%, and looks like that was a back test, and we're going to start to trend higher. So in general, this looks good. Again, I have this area circled as the buy zone on HMY, and this is where I was buying it down here, and now it's continuing to trend upward. Everything's looking good. The fact that we hit support yesterday and are bouncing off of it, that's all positive. Here's wheat and precious metals just about to break out. It hasn't broken out yet. So here's your downtrend line on the daily on wheat and precious metals. And you can see we've been trading just, you know, right there at resistance without, you know, a clear breakout yet. So we'll keep an eye on this one and see if we get that breakout. You know, I'm seeing breakouts in a lot of other miners, so I think we're going to get it, but again, we don't have it yet. Franco-Nevada, FNV, gapping above the 200-day moving average and moving, you know, steadily above, so we'll see if we can hold and close above that 200-day moving average. That would be a pretty bullish event as the algos, let's get the driver, as the algos, you know, there's a lot of algos buy programs that buy when something is above the 200-day moving average. So again, this one, it continues to trend upward. We pointed this one out down here as having bullish divergence. I started talking about it down here. And so we've been, I've been covering these trades in this breakout ever since it really started to fall down here. And this thing from, even from the breakout point right here to the high, we're up almost 12%. Here's BTG, up 5.5% today. And again, this was your downtrend line right here. We had bullish divergence. I have it circled. That was your divergent low. You look for a break of trend. Your break of trend was basically right here. There's your break of trend or your buy signal. And from the breakout, it is up 7% or so. And breaking higher today above this resistance line. You can see the former resistance right here at 488, and we are breaking above. So we'll see if we can get the daily close. Again, that daily close is so important. They could pop it above and then get rejected. So keep an eye on that. But I just want to point it out as these look like they're starting to break higher. Okay, let's talk about tech. So Qs, I'm not short this right now just because look, they made it look like it was breaking down yesterday and they gapped it up today. And they're clearly above support. So it looks like that was just a short-term blip or a short-term bear trap. So I don't see any short here. One of the reasons why I didn't like the short yesterday, or I was kind of hesitant, was the fact that the futures, the NASDAQ, well, the SPY futures, you can see here, here's the SPY futures yesterday, and they basically closed it right here. There was no breakdown of support in the SPY futures. The NASDAQ futures broke just briefly, not super impulsive though, and they have since recovered. So, unless we get some impulsive rejection right here and right now, then I really wouldn't be interested. If the sellers step in today and slam this thing down, then that would be a rejection. But as of right now, I just don't see it. So keep an eye on what happens today. Something might show up. But as of right now, I'm not really seeing it. SPY, SPY's kind of broken this trend. I'm not a big fan of the hourly trends. When I like to take shorts, I usually like to take them based off the daily chart. Here's the daily. And, we have a slight uptrend, so maybe we're coming in for a back test of that. Again, I don't see any signs quite yet that there's a big reversal happening, so kind of keeping an eye on it. There's some signs showing up that maybe there's going to be a reversal soon in the major sectors, in the S&P 500 and in tech, but I just don't see it yet. One thing, though, I want to point out is financials. All right, so a couple things. Financials are breaking down. I am short the financials right now. And what we've got, so again, this is just the first hour of the day, but that's a pretty impulsive hour. And so I'm looking for continuation to the downside on this. So again, I want more selling to show up. If it doesn't show up, I'll just stop out and close my position. But if you see more selling, then I think we're getting a breakdown in the financials. On the daily chart, you can see here, we have negative divergence. So let me just clear that up. So this is your negative divergence here on the financials. So we made a new slightly higher high right in here. And it was just barely a new high. And that's a divergent high because you see the momentum, how it's declining or descending. So negative divergence in the financials. So we look for a trend line break. Here's the trend line, and it's shown clearly on the hourly chart. There's the short-term trend line right there. And we're looking for a break, and there's your break. So that's a sell signal. That's a reason to be short with a stop. Basically if we recover back in here and can hold an hourly close back within the trend, I'll just stop out. But otherwise, I'm going to stay short. And the trade right now that I see is a move on the financials, probably all the way back down to about 30 bucks. This trend line down here, there will be, likely we'll see a reaction right in here as well. We'll probably get some sort of a reaction right around 31.50. And then down here we have the kind of a major trend line that comes back from the weekly chart, and that is your, going all the way back to 2011 on the weekly. This is your major support line. All right, so a move back down to the major support line, kind of test that again, is what I'm looking for, with some reactions along the way. Again, keep an eye out for whipsaw signals or fake outs, because there's been a lot of those in this market. There's lots of algorithmic traders and bots that do a lot of fake outs. So again, I'm looking for more selling. That's kind of the key on this one. We have a breakdown. Looks like we're going to close down here on a breakdown, and I want to see some more selling show up. So one of the reasons why the financials are starting to sell off, or potential to sell off, is the long bond. So interest rates are falling on the long end of the curve. That benefits gold. That benefits technology, but that hurts the financials. And so that's what we're seeing today. You can see here on, let's go to the daily on this TLT. You can see a gap up, and we're moving, higher. Now we are coming into some potential resistance. I don't really like this trend line right here. I'm going to get rid of it for now. But we are coming up into, I think that's probably what's happening right now, is just an extension of this trend line. So all I can see as of right now is the long bond is bullish. Again, I pointed it out. I circled it down here. We had bullish divergence in the TLT. You can see it was right there where we started to move up in momentum, and this was making a divergent low. And so far, since that divergent low, we've seen a trend reversal. So again, gap up and moving higher today, bringing the interest rates down. That's good for tech. That's bad for financials. So we're looking for financials to continue to sell, is kind of the general theme here. Just to cover Snap, just another day of backtesting this trend line. There's no technical change. So I remain short on Snap until there's a technical change. Now, what would that be? Well, if they gap it up and recover this, that would be a technical change, right? That would force me to stop out of the trade. But right now, we're at resistance, and we just continue to kind of battle with that day in and day out. So I'm still looking for more selling to the downside, and we'll just wait for it. Neo here, I haven't talked about this one for a little while. Coming down, testing the 200-day moving average here at 34.75, and still above it. So we'll see what happens. This is actually the first test of the 200-day moving average. But again, I think this thing just continues to look weak. You can see it's just downtrending. Ever since we broke trend, here's your uptrend. We broke trend. We've been making a series of lower highs. So you break trend. When we broke trend, we had negative divergence right here. So we broke trend. You get little rallies, and we're just making a series of lower highs. So I'm looking for a break at the 200-day, and actually a move down to 22 area. And I'm just going to sit on this until I see some sort of technical change in that. Although, I think it's likely we could get a bounce off this 200-day moving average. So I'm going to, be on the lookout for that. And GDX, if you don't think the miners are breaking out, well, this is a ETF. There's a lot of different miners in this one, and you can see GDX, clear bullish breakout candle right there. So we'll see if that closes closes bullish. They could always come in and sell it down, but as of right now, it looks like a breakout to me in GDX, and looks like more upside. And Agnico Eagle, I didn't cover this one. You can see here that this was basically your level of support back here. It was about 62.26. You can see we held that back there. That was major resistance right through there. And then right here it was support. Here it was support. And then we broke below, and it's been resistance since. But today, big impulsive breakout above that level. So that's a bullish sign. That's a breakout. Again, I talked about the bullish divergences showing up down in this area. So again, this was just a buy zone is what I saw this as, and now we're starting to break higher. So yeah, that's why I've been talking about these miners for a while, because they looked like one of the more bullish setups. The miners have come off quite a bit from their highs over the back in August, September of 2020, and they look like they're now ready, kind of recharged, ready to run for the next leg higher. So that's why I've been hammering on these for the last couple weeks, because I was trying to point out the fact that even though they hadn't run up in price yet, it looked like they were setting up to do so, and now we're seeing the price actually do that. So that's all I got so far this morning, guys. If anything changes, I kind of pointed out what the scenarios the potential scenarios that might happen either on Qs or the financials. I'm looking for more selling in the financials. The Qs look relatively strong. I'm not really interested in those right now. Gold miners look very strong, and they look like there's continued strength there. And yeah, so keep an eye out for any changes, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. Bye.